Hi race fans, welcome to another episode of Garageland. Well, we've raided the Stanaway shed tonight. Check out this hot rod. That is the only description that I can really come up for this. It is a work of art, and we're going to talk to Thomas and the crew. Oh, Thomas, it's great to be in your shed. Mate, it's nice and clean. It looks like you even swept the floor for us. And we see the crew here, so you better introduce the guys too.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. We've got James, he's just come on board this season. I used to race mini stocks with him back in Rotorua when I was living up there, and he's raced TQs.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a while ago. It's good to have him on board this year, a bit of knowledge. Dave, he came on board last season, he was good help, real good guy. And his son Tyler's the apprentice. He's learning in the school of hard knocks at the moment.
Did he sweep the floor?
Yeah, he swept the floor, of course. We actually swept the floor with him, but yeah. And we got Dad, he's pretty much the reason why I'm here, racing and that, yeah.
And who's the little crew member there as well?
Yeah, that's Lucy. She usually has more than her say. Keeps the boys in line.
Cool, man. Like, you guys have obviously been hard out working on this throughout the winter. I've already described it as a hot rod. It's immaculate.
Yeah, no, the boys put a real top effort into it this whole season. It's been hours and hours and hours every night. It's just a huge commitment to these guys, and yeah, couldn't have done it without them really. Come
over and we'll talk about this car. First off, everyone's going to want to know what motor you're running.
We've got a Midwest Motors Toyota V8. Graham Morrison has been in. He's built all our engines since we started Super Stocks. Yeah, some would say he sort of builds probably the top Toyotas in the country at the moment.
So this engine's been freshened since last week?
Yeah, it's had an all freshen up during this whole season. We've only just got it in, was it last week? Yeah, last week we just put it back in, and it's pretty much ready to fire up now.
A few modifications, a few tweaks to make it better?
Oh, you always tweak the odd thing, but there wasn't much we could do this year. We had all the upgrades last year, so it was pretty much just to freshen up. But yeah, it's a good engine.
So, plenty of new steel work's gone into it. It's been painted. Any other modifications to the chassis? Are there any upgrades through your suspension, things like that?
The suspension's all the same. We were pretty happy with it at the end of last year, so we kept all that. But the chassis, I got a bit rough with it last year, so it's pretty much new from the radiator forward and new from about here back somewhere. Yeah.
It's almost a new car then, really, except for the tub.
Yeah, pretty much.
How many hours do you think you've put into it since the end of last season?
Oh, I'd hate to think.
Hundreds?
Yeah, probably over hundreds.
Probably
yeah.
200 to 300.
Yeah.
What's the dollar value? Thousands?
Yeah, probably. We do a lot ourselves, which saves a lot. But yeah, you'd hate to add it all up, the time and the money you pour into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not worth adding it all up. All makes up for a day on a Saturday night when you're racing.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're busting out some laps and getting some titles and achievements, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's why you do it, and that's why you've got to do it these days. You can't be half-hearted about it. Like you've got to spend the hours to get there. You can't pull the car out of the trailer on a Saturday morning and expect to go out and win.
Those days are gone.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I've grown up through Speedway my whole life. I've seen those days of amateur Speedway racing. Super Stocks now, it's a professional sport. You have to look at the transporters that guys are turning up in, the gear that's inside them, and then these things to see, you know, and it's a professional sport. If you're putting the money in, you've got to put in the commitment.
Yeah. It's just a waste otherwise.
Now the interior, there's no seat in this car yet. Have you got a new race seat coming?
Yeah, the new race seat's actually just at the upholsters at the moment. We had it in there last night, we filled it all up, with new padding in there, and they're just finishing it off today, so they can finish tomorrow. But yeah, no, it's a very new seat. The old one's a bit in somewhere.
So just a bit of interior work, then you've got to go and get paint put on, of course. I think Grant Flynn, is he going to be doing that for you?
Yeah, he done the chassis for us, and Comac sandblasted it, and they done an awesome job with that, and yeah, Grant done an awesome job with painting it.
He's pretty good with a spray can, eh?
Yeah, he does a real good job, eh? And he'll do the body as well. We'll be dropping it off at the end of the week.
Any hints to what the colour scheme will be?
Yeah, it'll be black. I'll say that. Yeah, it's going to be black, the base colour, and then she'll have some pretty wicked graphics on it.
Running the 87?
Yeah, running the 87, yeah.
Awesome. We're going to have a look at the business end of this car here and look at the diff setup. Thomas, tell me about this. It's an expensive looking piece of kit.
Yeah, that's Winter's quick change diff. Most of the good cars now are running them. You can change gear sets, you can change ratios within 5 minutes with the different tracks and over the night and that. And yeah, it's pretty. It's got Mark Wolford done the boot cages and that for us and the suspension for us a couple of seasons ago. And it seems to be working pretty good. We get good traction in that. No, it's good.
How many times a night would you change the ratios?
All depends on what the track can do. Like you might change once or twice a night if you're really struggling or can't quite find it. But you know, for every track you'll usually change it, and then we don't usually change too much over a night. But some we have done. But yeah, it just means it's there it's quite you can do it straight away.
Is Miani a hard track to get the ratios right with the long straights and tighter corners?
Once you've got them, you're set. But you never know what you're going to get out here. You could get a smooth as track and slick as, or you could get a rough, drivey bog hole. So every night could be different. I mean, the New Zealand's, we changed that many gear sets on the first night here. It was unbelievable.
Day 1 and day 2, it was like chalk and cheese.
Yeah, we probably, I can't remember how many gear sets we changed on the first night, but it was so drivey and so rough.
So how far away in ratios is somewhere like Palmerston North compared to here?
Palmy we run real high. It's quite a gap, but it can be quite different. Like you go to Nelson, where it's a real short track, but it's a real momentum track, and we actually run the same gear sets we run at Nelson to Palmy and to Bay Park, which is pretty much the biggest track in New Zealand, just because of the momentum.
Yeah, all momentum tracks.
Yeah. But here we're in our mid-tour range. We run between around that gear set we run here in a lot of places. Might be 1 or 2 down or 1 or 2 up, but yeah.
Hitting some good top speeds here though at Miani at the end of the straight.
Yeah, and then the corners are a bit tighter, so you've got to get out of the corners as well.
Yeah.
So we actually gear it down here compared to Palmy and Nelson and Bay Park.
Now you've been racing for I think it's about 12 years. I think you started off with mini stocks in 2002.
Yeah.
But that was down in the South Island of Westport.
Yeah, good one. Yeah. No, it was in Rotorua with the likes of James Tollison, Boyd West.
Oh, so one of you guys put me crook before.
Darnes.
Yeah, I've got to be crook because he likes racing in Westport.
Oh, there you go. You got a cheeky crew here, mate.
Yeah.
See, I thought I'd done my homework. That's going to be on camera. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. You've been stitched up too.
So, Rotorua, that's very tricky little track.
Yeah, no, it's the best place to learn. Like if you can drive there, you'll drive anywhere. They've got that tight 1 and 2 and flowing 3 and 4 and good little drag straights, good traction strips down the straights. And no, it was definitely the best place to race mini stocks back then. It was awesome.
So you would have been 12?
Yeah, 12 when I started racing mini stocks. And I shifted to Nelson when I was 14, it was 14. And then raced mini stocks down there for 2 seasons. And got into these bad boys.
How important was that grounding in the mini stocks when you came into these?
Oh, it's huge. I couldn't imagine jumping straight into one of these and not coming from mini stocks. I know there has been a few done it, like Ellsworth, and they've been quick, straight out of the box. But mini stocks is just a huge step. It's just, I don't know how I done it, but I managed to fluke my first ever race in the super stock. I won it. I don't know how, but
first race you won it.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, Nelson, and but that's all from mini stocks. It's not such a. Well, it is a big step, but it's not such a big one, jumping out of nothing into one of these.
You sure Dad hadn't gone around the pits and paid everyone off?
Yeah, no, they made me work for it.
And then you made that big jump into the super stocks. Some drivers that come up from mini stocks reckon that once you get a bit more horsepower, or a lot more horsepower, they're easier to drive.
Yeah, it is, definitely. You drive it with your foot a lot more once you get your head around it, and they are a lot easier. They handle a lot better, and you've got the power to burn. Mini stocks, you've got to keep them tapped the whole, you've got to keep your momentum up, because once you come off the gas, you don't have anything there, so
exactly.
You've got power to burn, it's good.
So it does teach you how to keep the wheels in line and keep that momentum up
it
that you talk about.
Teaches you good, clean racing, like how to get through little gaps and how to race a car, really, it's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now some drivers can go through a whole career with never having got on a top 3 podium at the New Zealand Champs, or even come close to it. After, well, into your 4th season, you managed a 3 NZ.
Yeah, I got 3 NZ at Nelson last season, and yeah, no, it was awesome. Definitely a big highlight of my career. It was great, especially doing it like back then. It was my home crowd, so doing it in front of them was pretty cool.
Yeah. And that local track knowledge played a part.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like a lot of guys struggle down there, probably in the practice anyway.
Is that a bit more of a D-shaped sort of track?
Yeah, it's quite short, but it's real flowing. Like the corners are long as, and you tap the whole way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was an awesome weekend, and yeah, still unbelievable, really.
We had the New Zealand Champs here earlier this year. What were your thoughts on that meeting for you?
Well, I had 2 thoughts. All depends what the track was going to do. Like if this track's slick and smooth here, I love a slick track, and if it's smooth here, it's good. And that first night, I don't know what happened, but I mean the track's the same for everyone, but I just don't like a rough track. I just struggle with my rough track, but we're going to get around that this season. But yeah, I sort of suffered that first night. But if the track was like it was on the second night, it would have been a different story, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, you need that first night to qualify, so
yeah, that's it.
yeah. But if the track had been smooth that second night, it would have been a different story.
So one of your aims this season is to try and beat that bad track bogey, so to speak.
Try and beat the rough track, eh? That's the goal this year.
You are going to encounter those.
Oh yeah, especially like we get them every now and then. Yeah, we get a rough track, but hopefully we'll get around that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the goal for this year.
Cool. Well, as we all know, you can't do it without a crew, and Thomas has got a great crew here. Just run through and tell us what all your jobs are, Brian. We know that you put a lot of funding into Thomas's racing. What other things do you do apart from being a proud dad?
I work on the car, full out, chasing up parts all the time, all that sort of stuff, building a truck ready for the car running,
So
all sorts of stuff.
you race stock cars yourself,
Yeah.
starting around, I think,
73, I only did it like in and out all the time because I was in business and I was financially selling stock cars by a machine, that sort of stuff, so I was in and out the whole time. I was actually one of the first to go around the road of a track, we built an old building track, road of a track at the top.
right, cool.
So yeah, go back there, and Rotorua is our favourite, my favourite track.
So he's been hanging out at speedways since
Yeah,
days,
he's been involved all the time, yeah.
in long stubby shorts, running around, getting dirty.
Yeah, no, and he's, I'll be honest, not just because of my son, but he's really focused. You know, he's 100% for that. Same with our team here, 100% focused, like, they don't have to come here, you know, but they've got him with us here.
That's what we were saying
We
before
want to look
about
after them, you know.
being professional,
Yeah.
right? You've got to have a professional crew who are committed to the job. You can't just turn up and someone says, oh, well, I'll do the spanners today.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Yeah, no, like you run a real professional in super stock, even stock cars or even mini stocks, you're going to look at sponsors look at you, and the whole game's turned right around really.
Especially in this day and age of social media
Yeah.
and the amount of videoing that gets done now for events.
Yeah.
Meoni's going to be live streamed
Yeah.
just about every meeting now, I think. So
Yeah.
those sponsors are out there and looking,
Yeah.
and it's not just about you having a nice race car, it's
Yeah.
about your attitude and how your crew performs as well.
Exactly.
James, I know you've done a lot of racing, mate. You started out in TQs and...
Well, I actually started in mini stocks.
Oh, of course you did, yeah.
I was just about 2 years older than Thomas, but we raced together up in Rotorua a bit, and then moved to the TQs for about 10 years.
Were you one of the original mini stock guys out here?
Yeah, I was one of the original 4 that first night back in 2001.
I think
They've
you
come a long way since
everything there was to win it as well.
I had a good run. Yeah, I had a very good run.
Taught me a few things back then.
How to rub paint off side roads. Yeah. And then you moved to TQs.
Yeah, courtesy of David Jones, he was the one that gave me the big push, and if it wasn't for him, there's no two ways about it, I wouldn't have had the racing career that I've had. And so he got me into the TQs, and from there we sort of grew and eventually got into my own funded motorsport, and that, which was a big step for me. And can't say I've had the best of luck over the most recent of years. So
Not engine-wise, no.
no, not engine wise. So having a bit of a break from that, and had a bit of a skid in a stock car the last couple of years just for something different, and that was quite an education.
Now, Seth, my memory's right, your first meeting in the stock car was a Hawke's Bay Championship.
Yes, correct.
You got third, you were on the podium, buddy.
Yeah, I did actually. That was, I nearly did a Thomas in my first race in stock car. I won the first race, but I got a bit carried away and spun out in the last corner and finished
I remember it.
second that one.
We were getting pretty excited in the commentator box, and you must have put black jelly bean curse on you, I think.
Well, I think I was quite lucky that night too, just being a new guy to the class and wasn't trying to poke my nose where it shouldn't belong, and the guys just left me alone while they did their usual stock car tricks and took the top guys out, and I think I snuck through. So, but yeah, that was good. And then we raced it last year and had a really good season, and good fun, and learned a lot about the different culture of people within the Speedway Club, and yeah, the stock car guys are a good bunch of guys to be around with, and good community.
You can tend to get tunnel vision in your own class,
Oh,
and not see the whole club that's around you.
Definitely, yeah. I definitely had the latest, longest and most enjoyable nights with the stock car boys up and down the country.
So what are you doing on this crew? How did you come about to being here anyway?
Well, I sort of made a bit of a conscious decision just to have a year off and reassess my own situation with my own racing, and just thought, yeah, I'll take a year off, and then sort of got to the point, well, I can't do nothing. And I've always stayed in touch with Dave and Tyler, they're good friends of mine away from Speedway as well. And Dave said, oh, you know, crewing for Stanaway, he's a real professional, you know, and that'd be right up your alley. I thought, yeah. Oh, so I had a quick chat with Brian and said, oh, would you mind having an extra pair of hands for the season? He was, more than happy to take me on board, and ever since then, just been helping out where I can, doing odd bits and pieces around the car, and loving the professionalism of the team, and the goals and aspirations that they have are very similar to my own when I was racing. So found I've slotted in very easily because Brian and Thomas and Dave and Tyler have made me so welcome. And so yeah, fantastic place to be at the moment.
Awesome, thanks. I know you're right into it. You love your motorsport. You
Yeah.
better go with a few different things. Dwarf cars,
Dabbled, I suppose is the best word, isn't it?
street stocks.
Yeah.
Now you're working on a superstar.
Yeah. Well, I've mucked around with motorsport for a heck of a long time, and to be fair, I haven't really put my hand in properly. Yeah, I got a dwarf car, and had a play in that. Got a street stock, best result, won best pairs, got runner-up in best pairs the following season, and I got fourth in Hawke's Bay Champs by 1 point. And yeah, I've had a blast at what I've done, but the biggest thing for me is, as you know from when we raced cars together, was you've got to be boots all in, and you've got to have that commitment. And with a young family at the time, it was I just couldn't commit to it fully, and because it's a huge. It's not only a selfish thing, but it's also a financial thing when you're coming from a family. And unfortunately, I was the only one sort of involved in the sport because my kids were too young at the time. And so I turned my hand to crewing. A lot of the time, it's just been cleaning and tidying and learning.
He's another bucket and sponge boy.
I haven't wrecked it yet since he's been here.
No.
We're getting busy.
But I was crewing for another super stock team, but they were running out of Palmy, and the commitment to go to Palmy every weekend was tremendous. It was a huge effort.
That was with Andy McKay.
Yep, and that was just getting too much, the travel all the time. And I met these guys in Nelson when we went down to the New Zealands with Andy, and met them when Thomas got his 3NZ. And it was only briefly, but I took a shine to them straight away. I thought, these guys are awesome. They have got a real great attitude. Nothing is ever a problem, and that was one thing I really enjoyed. Just talking to them for, I think it was probably about 20 minutes, I spoke to Brian, and then when Thomas came up for the under-25s, spoke to Brian again after Thomas had very kindly stowed Sam Bartholomew off the end of the straight, which is quite a bit of fun, quite a bit of jest going on between the drivers, which was good. And then halfway through last season, I came and spoke to Brian when they'd moved up here and said, I'm leaving McCabe Motorsport because of the travel and the commitment to Palmy every weekend, and I really want to come home to Hawke's Bay because that's where all my racing's been at Miani and my involvement, and like I've worked at Speedway New Zealand as well, and Miani's my home track of Palmerston.
Yep.
And they welcomed me wholeheartedly because basically it was just them and Tom's mum Alison as well, getting out here with the bucket and cleaning up as well, you know, so they were sort of a little bit desperate and for some extra hands. So first meeting was Auckland Teams Champs, which was a good baptism of fire. So yeah, considering we got away lightly, though. We had a tremendous weekend. I think we only broke a right front rotor in the first race, and yeah, but to be part of this team, it's as someone who really enjoys crewing and spannering, it's the ultimate team for me. They make life easy. Nothing's a problem.
And you got your son with you too, that's even better.
It's really cool. He loves it. He loves it just as much as I do, if not more.
So what are you doing, Tyler?
Just cleaning up.
Just
doing
cleaning up.
Whatever I can.
They're not letting you on the spanners yet.
Well, sometimes
Check the tyre pressure.
if I've been good.
Put a sticker on somewhere. No.
No.
Go and eat some hot dogs.
Yeah, heaps of food.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, love it. It's good.
Got aspirations of racing something yourself one day?
Yeah, maybe later on, but for now, just helping out Tom.
Dad saved up a bit of money.
Yeah. Maybe when I stop taking all his.
Exactly.
Cool. Thanks. Well, Thomas, you've done some teams racing for the Hawkeyes. You raced in the Auckland Teams Nationals and also at Bay Park, but you were only the reserve for the Palmerston North hosted Teams Champs. Are you hoping to make that complete break into the team so that you're a regular?
Yeah, hopefully. There's definitely another goal is to go to Palmy teams. It's always been a goal since I was about 5 or 6 or something. So yeah, like this year they put Mary Long in just for the experience. This is my first year that I've actually the teams race. I've just put my name down this year because I like the guys and we're all getting on real well, so we're all good team to be in. And yeah, so they took Mary Long down for the experience because as you know, Palmy Teams Champs is
It's huge,
all stock car racing. So I'd only done one team race before that, so yeah, that's definitely got to get to Palmy.
Palmy's the rugby sevens of super stocks, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's awesome. Yeah, just the atmosphere and everything down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was good to go down there this year and help all the guys out. And they did an awesome job down there. Yeah.
What do you prefer, individual racing or teams?
I'd love the hard, like I love a good hard super stock race, like a final or something. Can't beat that, 26 of the best, and just battling from lap 1 to the last lap is awesome. But the teams is just different. I haven't probably done enough of it to answer that question properly, but I suppose Palmy is completely different. It'd be awesome to go there, but I still love my hard open racing.
I know the Hawkeyes team are looking to consolidate on their third and perhaps get 1 or 2 places better for the next coming season. Could be hard for you to break into that squad again.
Yeah, it could be. You know, there's heaps of guys put their names down, and everyone's got so much. Like the class here is growing huge, but you know you've got to be there to do it. And yeah, it takes young guys 10 years, so it could be quite hard to get in this year, but I will give it heaps.
No doubt.
Yeah.
The individual championships in Wellington at Team Roo, have you spun some laps down there?
No, I haven't yet, but the plan is to get down there early on this season. And do a few meetings down there for New Zealand, hopefully.
Talk about momentum tracks, it's definitely one of those.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of banking, a reasonable amount of banking, nice flowing corners on it, so it's going to be a fast track.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. Everyone says it's quite fast, so I'm looking forward to it.
Now, unfortunately, it's an open title this year with Shane Penn unfortunately out and out.
Yeah.
So the title's up for grabs.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't go down there and defend it. And,
No one's done 3-peat, have they?
no one's done 3 in a row. And he was definitely on his form. You know, he could have been the one to do it.
It's such a tough sport. There's so many drivers that can win New Zealand titles on that given day. Just to win back-to-back is a legendary achievement anyway. You get someone like Peter Rees who's done it in stock cars and he's won 4 or 5 titles.
Yeah.
But the super stocks, I mean, it's so hard for you to even win it once.
The super stocks is like anyone in that top, or anyone in the 80, like all the 80 to 90 cars that turn up to that New Zealand squad, it's got as good a chance as anyone to win it.
Yeah.
But then now, like back in the day, it was you could sort of throw a blanket over the first 10 and the rest of the miles with one. But now it's just anyone there in that top 26. It's just as fast. Like it's so hard, it's so cutthroat now. You make one mistake and 5 cars pass you.
Yeah.
And then you're gone.
We're looking at this. and seeing the work and the money and everything, that development that goes into this. There's 50 of those cars in the New Zealand Championship, isn't there?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You know, they're all there for the same thing. They all want that number one,
yeah.
just whether it's going to happen or not.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so what are your goals for the coming season?
To be competitive at every meeting we go to is the main goal. Just be good to get on the podium in a few, but to be on our game at every meeting we go to. Have a good time. Be good to get to the team again. That's definitely a goal. I love team racing. And master the rough track too.
We staged a very successful 3-round Hawke's Bay Championship. I think we only did one round. Was it one round?
I've done the second two. I missed the first one because we were still in Nelson.
And you won a round?
Yeah, I won a round. I won the first round I did. I got 2 firsts and a third.
That's right, yeah.
And then the third round, I had a bad first race, got a flat tyre, so then I just helped out a couple of the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a cool way to run the championship over those 3 rounds, and it came right down to that last race.
Yeah.
And there was only a point separated.
I couldn't believe how close it was after 3 rounds, and that was awesome. I hope they do that again this year.
So you were looking to do all 3, because
Yeah,
if you had
definitely,
done that first round, you very well could have had a podium.
Yeah, we would have had a good shot, and we would have set us up for that last round, but that's the way it is.
And we're looking to have a good number of drivers out here this year, number of drivers and cars, probably over 20, which is something that we haven't had here in Hawke's Bay for a while.
Yeah, and it's not far for people to travel here, so we usually a few other towns every meeting. We get a bit full field most meetings here, especially those big ones like Hawke's Bay Champs in there.
I think also too, with the track situation pretty much being sorted out on that second night of the New Zealand Champs and being relatively good ever since, to say the out-of-town support will start coming back.
Yeah, no, I think it will. Like, that's sort of, after that first year, and everyone was pretty bummed, but since they've sorted it, and it's been mint ever since, and hopefully they do a good job on the North Islands this year, and because we've got North Island Super Stocks here this year, hopefully they do a good track for that, and I'd say, the rep will be there.
So that's definitely going to be one of your goals this season, is that North Island Champs?
Yeah, well, I think it's 3 days before the New Zealand's, so it's going to be a good meeting.
These guys are going to be busy.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, I don't know about the scheduling. I'm not really sure who does the schedules around this country for Speedway, but there is always some conflict somewhere. But it's a very short time frame. You're going to hope to come out of that North Island Championship with a result and no damage.
Yeah, well, especially that time of year, trying to get parts and trying to get couriers sorted around Christmas time and New Year's might be a bit of a mission, but no, we'll have sorted. We'll get sorted beforehand, and then it's, if anything major happens, it's sorted.
Plus, you'll be travelling down to Wellington probably on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday.
New Year's Day or something like that.
Yeah.
Heading down there, so.
You might have a headache.
No, mate, not that time, not for us. Not for me anyway.
Professional, told you.
Yeah, I won't be drinking New Year's, so just a quiet night.
You're going to put some sponsors on this car, so you better tell us about them.
Yep, at the moment we've got Foot Engineering, that's the main sponsor. Sportswear Photography, Graham Hughes up north, the photographer. Yeah, he's helped me out a lot over the last few years.
He's a good guy, old GH.
Yeah, he is. And Midwest Motors, Graham Morrison, he's put a lot into our engine, it's pretty good. And at the moment that's it, but we're always up for any more if anyone's keen out there.
Did Grant do you a good deal on the paint?
Yeah, he helped us out. Yeah, they've done a good job, and just the job he done was enough. That was awesome. They put that, he went into that extra mile for us, and yeah, it was awesome. They've done it quick. It was a couple of days turnaround.
Thomas, you getting hungry?
Hell yeah.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Mike.
Found it all right.
Yeah. A few pizzas for you. Looks like us.
Well, like we do usually when we have a shed raid, we do an arm wrestle, and because Dave stitched me up on some information earlier, he's got to come up against Thomas. They've said that they're going to put some effort into it, but we'll find out in a minute. Come on, guys. It'll be driver or crew.
Do you want to get it back? I know you're short, but
Away you go, guys.
what's all that smoke coming out from the dash over there?
Any tactic to win, it doesn't matter. Thomas took it out. Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing this again on another episode of Garageland.